Hi, it's Noor Jahan here. I'm a shooting survivor. I was shot in the leg in a nightclub in 2006, and it wasn't until 2016, so 10 years after my shooting, that I started actually healing and kind of owning my pain and facing it. So I wanted to make this video about the things that I wish somebody had said to me right after my shooting. Many of these were said to me later, and I'm so thankful for the people who said them to me. I don't know where I would be if I hadn't had those people in my life, and all of them came from other survivors. So I'm so thankful to have known them. I'm sad that I didn't meet them earlier, but I wanted to share these with other people in case they don't have other survivors in their lives that are telling them this. So the first thing I wanted to share, actually the first two things I want to share, I heard from Rhonda Foster, who's another shooting survivor. The first one was, at one point she told me, when I said, I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, she said, "No, you weren't." She said the person who was in the wrong place at the wrong time was the person who decided to bring a gun to a nightclub and destroy lives. And when she said that to me, it took away the sense of responsibility that I had felt for so long, about the decisions that I had made leading up to it, about what I could have done differently, or why this happened to me, all of those questions that I had and all of the blame I put on myself. It took it off of me and put it on the person who decided to bring a gun to a place where people were just trying to live their lives. So if you're feeling the same way I had been feeling and running through all the things you could have done differently, either to save a loved one or to not be at the place where a shooting took place or to not be shot, or whatever it is that you're thinking about constantly, I want to be able to tell you that you were not in the wrong place at the wrong time. The person who decided to bring the gun was. And I hope that you get to the point where you can really feel that you are not responsible for what happened to you or to your loved ones. That's not on you. And it's hard to know that you didn't have control over it. That in itself is really scary. But I hope it lets you let go of a little bit of that responsibility and the blame that we put on ourselves a lot. Another thing that Rhonda told me was that I was a survivor. And I tell people all the time how weird it is now for me to think about the fact that I never identified in that way until 10 years after my shooting. But nobody had ever told me what it was going to be like afterwards. Nobody told me that, you survived that one night and that I would be surviving every day since. That I'm surviving on the good days and I'm surviving on the really hard days. And that it becomes easier. It doesn't always feel like surviving, although for a long time it did. It did all the time. Now it just feels that way sometimes. But even in the times where I was brought back to that night and I thought I was dying again, I survived. I survived then, and I survived now. And even for those of you who have experienced the worst thing in the world in losing someone, somehow you woke up the next day and it didn't feel the same. But you survived. You survived the hardest thing in the world. And you're still surviving. And hopefully that helps you feel like on the days where it's hard again and you feel frustrated, you know, it's okay that it's still there. It can be infuriating or depressing, or, you know, fill your life with anxiety, and, you know, there are so many fears and other emotions that come up. But you get through it, and you're going to get through it. If you're going through it right now, you will find a way to get through it, and it will get better. It will get better. Another thing I wish that people or somebody had told me was, you know, you may not be interested in talking about it right now. You may not feel like you're ready. But when you do feel like you're ready, even the littlest bit, when you feel like it's overwhelming or like you just need to get it out of your system, I wish somebody had said to me, when you're ready, I'm here and I'll listen. Not to judge, not to give you anything but a listening ear. I'm here to witness your pain. And don't worry about how much space you're taking up or how much you're talking or, you know, how much you're revisiting the same thing. I'm here. I'm here for you. Because I was scared for a long time to bring it up to anyone in my life because it felt like I was dwelling on it forever. It felt like, how are you not over this yet? And in some ways, I just needed somebody to give me permission to get it all out so I could figure out what was really hurting and then work on that. And the last thing I wanted to say, this is a hard one because it hits me kind of deep. I didn't realize it until I was thinking of things that I wish somebody had said to me right away. And when I started writing this one down, I got kind of emotional about it. And it's, I forgive you. I forgive you for surviving. And they forgive you. The people who died forgive you for surviving. The people who lost somebody forgive you for surviving. You're allowed to survive. You're allowed to be alive. And one day, you'll be able to forgive yourself for surviving. One day you'll be able to say, it's okay that I'm alive. It took me a long time to be okay with being alive. It took me way longer than I feel like it should, but and one day, I think, we'll be able to celebrate being alive and not just be okay with it. I don't know if that's a feeling that a lot of people have, but it's a feeling that I have. So I try to forgive myself every day for that. I hope that those were helpful. And that there's somebody who's watching this who needed to hear any one of those. I just want you to know that you're not alone. There's so many of us And so many of us are feeling so similar. And if you feel comfortable getting out there and speaking about your experience, somebody needs to hear it. There's somebody else who feels the same way who needs to hear from you. And if you're a shooting survivor who's looking for community, you can find it on our Facebook group, Shooting Survivors Support and Resources. And you can find more resources, including a guide to starting to feel safe again at shootingsurvivor.com. And I'm here if you need somebody to listen, or somebody to just sit in your pain with. I'm here.